Hi everybody, welcome to Vanessa's van life journey. How are you guys doing today? Come on in and thumbs up the video if you are my friend. I hope you guys are having a wonderful day today. I am here to continue my series on homelessness. I will be talking about several topics about me being homeless. I was homeless for a number of years, and I've also been homeless a number of times throughout my life, even as a child. So if you have any questions about homelessness, any videos that you want me to make concerning homelessness, please leave it in the comment bar below. So today I want to talk about when I was homeless and I lived in the building, how people targeted me and how people stole from me. Oftentimes, when you are homeless, whether you are on the streets, whether you're living in a vacant building, whether you're living in your vehicle, people can target you that you are just for homeless. So when I was living in the building, I was targeted a number of times. I was targeted in a number of ways, and I'll talk about that in different videos, but today I'm going to talk about how they stole from me. First of all, I think the first time, when I was living in the building, it was fenced in the back. I had a chain around the gate, and one time I was in the inside of the building and I didn't chain the gate. I didn't lock it. I had the chain on it, but I didn't lock it. And I heard the chain moving, and I went outside, and this guy was actually coming in the back, and he was getting ready to steal something. And I was like, what are you doing back here? And blah, blah, this. And I just confronted him. Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't know nobody was here and whatever. You're coming into a whole gate. They got a lock on it. They got a chain on it. It wasn't your job to know whether or not somebody was here or not. So that was like the first encounter of me believing that somebody was going to target me to try to steal something from me. And so then the next time they stole something from me, it used to be this cage in the back of the building that was made of burglar bars. And my dad had got sick and he was in the hospital, and I went to his house to watch his house for him while he was sick. And of course I had to leave the place, the building that I was living in, and at that time I had 2 generators, and when I came back, they stole the generators. But my dad wasn't at the hospital yet, so I just was like, okay, the generators are gone, there's nothing I could do about it. And then when I came back, they had broken into the building that I was staying in. They had stole dishwashing liquid, toilet paper, feminine napkins, just ransacked the whole place. And I eventually went to a thrift store, not a thrift store, a flea market, and I bought a burglar bar, and I put a burglar bar on the door, had it rigged up where the door was locked and everything, and they broke in again. Stole toilet paper, toothbrush, personal care items, feminine items, and it was just, it didn't make sense to me because, some people in the neighborhood knew that I was living in the building with no lights, no gas, no water, and they just didn't care, and they still targeted me. One night I was inside the building and I kept hearing some noise, and I kept listening outside the door and just listening real good. And right in the building, the other part of the building on the side of me, on the outside of me, somebody was trying to pull metal copper wires or something down. And I shouted outside to let them know somebody is here. They still kept doing it. Finally, because I'm not a scary person, so finally I just opened the door, even though it was dark out there and I couldn't really see. I opened the door and I just went out there. And I was like, you better stop coming up over here, because something gonna happen to you. Like, and so that was a time when they were trying to steal some copper wire or whatever. And then one night I was on the outside of the building and I heard something. I had some stuff in a crate on the outside, and I heard something, and I looked up, and this man was digging in the crate that I had outside, and I was knocking on the window. I was like, hey, leave that stuff alone. That's my stuff. Leave it alone. And he was like, this ain't your stuff. This ain't your stuff. And I was like, hey, man, leave my stuff alone. And he just kept digging in it and taking stuff and putting it under his arm and stuff. I opened the door up. I went outside and I was like, put my stuff back. And he like, I ain't putting blankety blank back. And I started following him. I got my phone and I called 911. And I told him I was following this man that just stole some stuff from me. And I just kept following him. He went by this park. I was following him in this dark neighborhood, you guys. This is how mad I was. I was mad. I was mad. I was crazy, I know, for following him. But I was so angry because people had stole stuff from me so many times that I was tired. I was angry. I didn't want to take it no more. I wanted to feel like I had the power to control my life and not let nobody take advantage of me. So I followed him down that dark road. I followed him in the middle of the night, in the middle of nowhere. I stayed on the phone with the police, and then he eventually went into this little porta potty by the park, and I think he dropped stuff off because he probably had some drugs or something on him. I don't know. He had a machete in his hand, and I was still following him, y'all. He had a machete in his hand. That's how angry and mad I was. I was still following a man that didn't give a darn and had a machete in his hand, and I was still following him, letting him know, you gonna go to jail today, homie. And if you don't go to jail, you gonna go to hell, because God gonna judge you. And finally the police came, but he had went in some bushes, and you know, they couldn't find him. They gave me a ride back to the building. So that was another time when somebody stole something from me. And then one night I was inside the building and I heard a noise. I heard a car door slam. So I look out. I was in the other part of the building. I look out in the front part of the building, and I see this car parked right up next to my car, and he got his door open and he getting ready to do something to my car. And I holler out the door. I'm like, hey, what are you doing? And I'm about to call the police on you. And he was like, oh, I have a flat tire. I said, well, stay right here, because the police coming. They're going to help you with the flat tire. He was lying. He ain't had no flat tire. He was getting ready to do something to my vehicle. And when I told him I was calling the police, he drove away with no flat. He drove away with no flat. So that was another time somebody tried to do something to my vehicle. Then another time, I'm going to tell this in another story. I'm going to tell this one in another story. But then I had a trailer, a 14 by something trailer, and it was full of stuff. And I left the building, and one day I came back and my trailer was gone. Somebody stole it. I have so many police reports from being targeted while I was at the building. It just don't make any sense. I had dogs while I was at the building, and one day I left, and when I came back, my dogs were beat. Somebody had came back there, and I guess they was trying to steal something, but my dogs was giving them a run for their money, and my dogs were beat. I ended up eventually getting rid of my dogs. One of my dogs, when I came back, one of my dogs was gone, and I walked around and looked for her and looked for her and looked for her, and I could not find her nowhere. And then so the other one, I just went ahead and got rid of her because they was targeting my dogs. They were abusing my dogs by trying to break in back there. And one of my dogs, before she came up missing, she had cuts all over her body where they had attacked her. And I nursed her back to health. I talked to her, I loved up on her, and I nursed her back to health where all her scars and cuts had healed. But it's just a shame how many evil and wicked people that we have in the world. I didn't let what people did to me detour me. Even though they were breaking in, I still stayed there. I still stayed there for years, and I just let them know in a number of ways that I was protected and I was going to protect myself. If you come back here, that's why every time they broke in, I called the police. And I'm sure the people in the neighborhood seen it. I called the police because I have my police reports showing that I am being targeted. I have my police reports showing that people are trying to break in and have broke in and have stole stuff from me. And so if I have to protect myself in the middle of the night, living in a building with no gas, no lights, and no water, and somebody is trying to come into a fence that is chained, a building that has a burglar bar door on it, then I'm going to protect myself by all means necessary. So I didn't feel like, I had no reason to be scared because I was going to protect myself by all means necessary. I put signs and painted on the doors, keep out. It didn't help. It didn't help anytime that they seen I was away, they would break in or they would steal something. And even times when I was there, they would break in and they would steal something. But I just want to encourage you today to let you know, just because you're homeless, and even if you're not homeless, just because somebody steals something from you, don't let it bother you. God will replace everything that people try to steal from you, and God is going to judge them for what they're doing. They're not getting that stuff for free. It's going to cost them something. It's going to cost them something. They're going to pay for what they did, and the only thing you could do is keep your head up. Don't give up, and know that God is going to provide for you. And that's what I did. I kept my head up. I knew that God was going to provide for me. Even though they stole my generators, I showed them, okay, you stole my generators. I'm still going to stay back here with no lights, no gas, and no water. And I'll get another generator whenever I can. But I got so used to being without the generator and doing everything in the daytime to the daylight. And then when it got dark, then I would just go inside the building and go to bed or talk to God. So it's just all about getting a routine and sticking to that routine and doing as much as you can to the daylight. So I was like 100% off grid for a very long time and just catching rainwater and just pressing on and persevering. So I hope this story time of how these people stole from me and targeted me encourages you and motivates you and just shows you to continue to have strength and continue to have faith in God. And you know, don't let people turn you into the monsters they are. You know, I just continue to keep the faith no matter what. I didn't lose my faith no matter who targeted me, no matter how I was treated, no matter what they stole from me. I continue to keep the faith. So that's going to be it for today's video. Don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe. Hit the notification bell if you haven't hit the notification bell, and hit always, and be sure to come back for another video. If you want to support the channel, you can support the channel. All my information is in the description box below. My Cash App, my PayPal, my Amazon wish list, and my mailing address. And also, if you're not subscribed to my other channel, Nomadic Therapy, that channel is currently at, I think, 8,000 subscribers. So if you could subscribe to that channel and let's get that channel to 10,000 subscribers, I would appreciate it so much. I will talk to you guys later, and I'll be back with another video. Thanks for watching. Bye now. See y'all later.
My heart rages around like an ocean in my head, because there are so many things that I left unsaid. I can almost feel you walking in the distance, but I know that it's not reality. If you are echoing around inside these parallel dimensions all alone, know I'll find you in my dreams. My heart rages around like an ocean